Hi guys, this is Wu here from Journey Recovery and Wellness Center, and I'm here to talk to you guys about attachment styles. So you guys have heard of people saying that debt and taxes are guaranteed in life. However, I'd like to revamp that and say what's actually guaranteed that we are all going to have relationships in our lives, whether it be with our romantic relationships or with our parents or even with our children as well. And it's important to understand, how do you relate to other people? Do you relate to people in a healthy manner or an unhealthy manner? Are you too dependent on them and you aren't able to actually individuate? Or are you too independent and you don't actually ask for help when necessary? So John Bowlby, a psychologist, informed us that there are actually four main attachment styles. One that's secure and three that's insecure. So let's unpack it together. Firstly, secure attachment style. Normally, when you're in your childhood, they would say the first 18 months, you would become someone who's actually very independent and dependent necessarily. So with the secure attachment style, we know that with small babies that are normally born, with their primary caregiver, their mom or their father, they're able to relate well with them. So they have their physical and their emotional needs met. So let's look at physical needs. So if you have a dirty diaper, your mom changes the diaper for you. If you're hungry, you get your bottle. That's normally your physical needs being met. However, normally people miss out the emotional needs that need to be met as well. When you were crying, were they able to soothe you, right? When you were happy, were they able to be attuned with your happy emotions? So we all say, "Oh, are you happy, baby?" And we all do the smiley face as well. That's a good thing as a parent to do because you're showing them emotional attunement as well. So a parent needs to be able to give physical needs met and also the emotional needs to be met. Normally, a person who has a secure attachment style, someone when they're growing up, they're able to become independent, also become dependent necessarily as well. They have a healthy self-image, so they're able to have good self-worth and self-esteem, but also they're able to make friends easily when they're in school. And they're able to have healthy romantic relationships as well. So I said to you guys, there's four attachment styles: one secure and three insecure. Let's look at the three insecure. First of all, the first one is called anxious attachment style. Some people would say it's preoccupied. Normally, people who they be labeled as they're too clingy or they don't know how to have their own lives. So let's say in romantic relationships, when your partner's sad, oh, I'm also going to be sad as well. When your partner's in a bad or angry mood, you also get absorbed in that whole kind of behavior. That isn't helpful because you're too dependent on your partner or your primary caregiver, whoever the person is. That's anxious or preoccupied. The third one is called dismissive avoidance. This is where you're too deep independent, from the person. So the whole assumption is that we fear rejection and abandonment, and as a result, we push people away as a defense mechanism. So let's say it's your birthday and your partner didn't message you happy birthday or they forgot about it. So the healthy thing to do there is call them back and say, listen, what happened? Did you forget about me? Have a conversation, have a discussion, communication. But normally, if you are someone who is a dismissive avoidant attachment style person, you become too dependent. You become withdrawn from them because the whole notion is that I'm going to reject you before you reject me as well. We've heard people saying, oh no, I'm the damper, not the dampy. That isn't actually helpful because you aren't having the discussion with that person and you're moving them away when actually the natural thing is to talk about it, because at the end of the day, as human beings, we want to be loved and to receive love and to give love as well. We want connections. So I've talked about the secure attachment style, the dismissive attachment style, and the avoidant attachment style. The fourth one is called the disorganized. Normally, if a child grows up in a home where the mom maybe has postpartum depression or they've gone through trauma and they aren't attuned with the baby or the child doesn't know how to process things. So I'll cry extra to try to get attention, but mom won't do anything about it. And then I'll think, okay, maybe if I'm just more calm and more reserved, mom will actually help with my diaper or my food or whatever the case is. And the child doesn't get regulated. So hence it's called disorganized because I don't really know how to act to get more attention and love. I can cry more, become more needy, but nothing happens. I can be more independent and less needy, nothing happens. So hence it's called disorganized. It's actually a combination of the two. So what's important to know is that, first of all, these can change. So with therapy, coming to Journey or seeing one of our therapists here, you can learn to be more securely attached. Secondly, what's important to note is that people change. So maybe with one relationship, you could be secure, but maybe with people at work or romantic relationships, you might be insecure. It's important to know which relationship is unhealthy for you where you can learn and grow from it.